This week on Jeb and Flow, I got charts. I got bells and whistles and graphs. Actually, this is very simple stuff. There are 28 days between Thanksgiving and Christmas. How you use those 28 days, entirely up to you, and they might determine the course of the next few months after that, if you want them to. But we've got this really cool chart here of stuff that you can do for each one of those days in between Thanksgiving and Christmas to help you keep you in line, keep you on track, keep you connected with your street parking community. Welcome back to Jeb and Flow here on the Street Parking Podcast channel. I feel like I said that kind of like a early morning radio DJ. Anyways, let's get started with a deep breath in and a slow breath out. And then do that one more time. Really fill up. Take an extra sip of air there at the top. Breathe out really slow and just try to come into this moment wherever you happen to be. Take a look around. Maybe give some appreciation for where you are, what you're doing, where you're going, where you're coming from. Hopefully you found some good red lights this week to be thankful for. Have you ever seen the movie 28 Days Later? So good. Super scary. The sequel might even be better, 28 weeks later. But 28 days later, in a nutshell, a guy, I think he gets hit by a car, and he wakes up out of a coma 28 days later, and a virus has taken over the world and turned everyone into zombies. And he's like one of the few people that is still normal and trying to survive. It's an incredible, if you're into like horror movies and zombie movies, 28 days later, it's amazing. But the point being is that a lot can happen in 28 days. And what I wanted to talk about today is the 28 days of fitness. So in 2020, between Thanksgiving and Christmas is 28 days. And a lot of times we use that time between Thanksgiving and Christmas to just let everything go. And I think it might be very easy to do that this year. Eat whatever we want, drink however we want, whatever we want, how much we want, and watch all the junk and avoid doing anything productive with our bodies. And start fresh on January 1st. So 28 days is not a lot of time, but also could feel like a lot of time. But, you know, it's one of those things where you could make a choice to make 28 days be really awesome and productive and positive, or have 28 days to just kind of, you know, check out. And if you do the math, I did not do the math prior to this episode, but if you do we'll do some basic math here. 28 days, if you're eating 4 times a day, then that is what, like 112 meals. 112 meals. So if you were pretty solid with 80% of those meals, that's like, 85 meals or something. And you still get like 20 junk meals. That's a lot. And do the math for yourself. Don't trust my calculations. But my point being is that you could probably enjoy at least a dozen really good, delicious, non-compliant, or whatever term you want to apply, meals over the course of 28 days and still move in the right direction towards the on the health and wellness and fitness continuum, right? Towards fitness and away from sickness. But you could eat a lot more junk and do a lot less activity and move away from fitness and towards sickness. Not where we want to be moving toward, especially in these trying times, right? We got to be healthy. Right now, more than ever, we got to be healthy. So what we've done here at Street Parking is created this fun little chart. And if you're watching, if you're listening, you can't see my chart, but if you're listening, go to the Street Parking Members Only website and you can find this chart. There will be a banner at the top of the page and you can click on it, 28 Days of Fitness. It'll take you to where you can download this cool chart, and it basically has 28 days of cool fitness-related stuff you can do. And it's not just physical fitness. It's not just nutrition. There's like what I would consider to be spiritual fitness, but you don't have to use that term if it's a little bit sensitive for you. But there's all kinds of stuff, like getting enough sleep one night, making a recipe off of the members only website. We have tons of recipes up there. Just move for 10 minutes. That's another one. Some of my favorites are to give. Make sure that on one of these days, you give. You do something, you give something away to somebody else. Give your time, give some money, give a present, whatever. And then there's receive. And that's another one of my favorites because it's a day where your job for that day, the only thing you got to check off your list is to treat yourself, right? Everyone deserves a little treat from time to time. So, and there's little descriptions of each one of these steps here, and it's really cool. And what I like about this, there's a lot of things I like. Let me just first say that, okay, on day 5, it says sleep 7+ hours tonight. Well, that's good. I think everyone should sleep 7+ hours every night. If you sleep 5 hours a night, and then one night you sleep 7+ hours, maybe not going to do a whole lot for your long-term health, right? It's something that needs to be consistent. And we talk so much about consistency with street parking. And so this isn't necessarily that. But what is cool is that you give yourself one thing to do each day. And that one thing is the priority, right? It's the marker of success, the marker of victory. So I can do all these other things or I cannot do all these other things, but on day 5, if I get 7+ hours of sleep, then that's a win. That's great. I get a win. So it creates a psychological momentum there. So maybe not necessarily so much of getting all the benefits of plenty of sleep, recovery-wise and health-wise, and emotion management and cognitive ability and sharpness, but just taking one day to focus on something like that and giving yourself a win for doing so is awesome. The other thing I like about this is that as you check off these days and you check off these wins, you kind of bank them up. And so, like I said, it creates momentum. And, a lot can happen in 28 days, and also very little can happen in 28 days. And a lot can happen in one day, and very little can happen in one day. What I find is that sometimes it'll be the end of the day, or even really on a painful week, the end of the week, and I look back and I'm like, I don't know what I did today. I feel like I was so busy this week, my head was all over the place, but I am still busy, and I still have all these things on my list of stuff to do, and it's frustrating because I don't know what I did. And sometimes we do a lot more than we think we do. And starting to write things down, give yourself tasks ahead of time, and break those tasks into smaller and smaller pieces allows you to create more momentum. It allows you to keep track of the things that you're actually doing so that at the end of the day or at the end of the week, you can actually look back and just see how many of those boxes you checked, how many of those tasks you completed. If they never got written down, you might not remember that you did them. They might have just been kind of mindless things. And I just wanted to plant the seed on that because I think that's a really good topic for another episode, making to-do lists and putting things on that to-do list that are so small that they almost seem kind of dumb, but there's some power and there's something powerful in crossing something off of your list. So if you can put things on your list that you know you can easily cross off your list, it builds you that confidence. It gets you that momentum. Back to this chart. Checking boxes, 1 box a day for 28 days. It's a really cool way to kind of just stay sort of in the mindset of fitness. It's also a really cool way to stay connected with your street parking community because you'll see other people that are doing the same things. And maybe you'll see people that share on social media stuff that they did. It'll give you some ideas of cool stuff that you can do in the way of giving or receiving or that kind of thing. Stop procrastinating for a day. Oh, I can't wait for that one. That's a good one. So I really just wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about this time, this funny time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and how pivotal it can be, how much it can set you up for January. The choice is yours. And I won't fault you either way, because it might be nice to just kind of hang out, take some days off. We're working from home maybe, eat a bunch of pie and stuff like that, leftover Thanksgiving stuff, make a bunch of early Christmas stuff, just pie for days, or, enjoy a little bit of pie here and there, but stay on top of your consistency, stay on top of your routine, stay on top of the idea that real fitness is made in the winter. So make sure you go to the members only website, get this chart, put it somewhere where you can see it, make sure there's a pen nearby and you can check these boxes as you do them and share them with all of your friends here in the community. Thank you. Have a great week. I love you. Talk to you soon.